the athletes start to jockey for position, see each other, and how they're going to balance things out.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to assess in these first kind of 20, even 25 strokes. I know, having done many a 2K myself a long, long time ago, back when I was an under 23 athlete, those first 25 strokes are just free speed. It's where you've got the energy to perhaps pull a big split that you're not going to try and hold for the rest of the race before settling down onto pace, which is what we'll see now about 300 meters in. And big score here from Alexandra Foster of Germany, who we're seeing on the screen now. Anything sub 1:45, we're looking for a really big time. That's a sub 7-minute score, which would be hugely impressive, as none of the athletes recorded that in their qualifiers. So let's see if that little bit of something special might give us a big performance here, because Foster's certainly looking good in this starting 500, Shane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just taking a peek at her qualifying time, 7:18. Makes you wonder if perhaps she knew what she needed to qualify, and at this point has more in the tank that she wasn't showing in those qualifiers, willing to really unleash it here and show everybody that there is no competition. We'll see if she's able to make that last and start to push that lead out, currently at 22 meters and growing by the stroke. We'll see if that continues, but 1:42, she's looking strong, looking confident, and looks very put together with every single stroke. It looks clean, and that is certainly going to be a testament to her ability to maintain.
Yeah, you're right. I think that the qualifying times, it's great for us to go by as commentators to get a bit of a sense with barely any competition going on in this last year with the climate. It gives us a benchmark, but ultimately we don't know what the process has been in order to get that qualifying time, and whether it was at a point in a training cycle where athletes were really tired, they did enough, they did what they needed to do, all in build up for this event. This is the event where it counts, and so this is where we're going to see perhaps some bigger performances than we saw in the qualifiers. But she is holding strong here. 800 meters gone. Alexander Foster still at 141s, 142s. I think, like we've said many a time before, Shane, we're going to see whether that's impacted her or not in that third 500, because that's always where both the mental and physical kind of challenges of these 2Ks come together, right?
Anything can happen once you pass the halfway point in a 2K. That third 500 is where things make or break, and you can truly see if an athlete's game plan was to push and challenge and hope that they scare people enough that they're not going to have to worry about it in the second half, or if they truly have what it takes to maintain that score. And currently going into this halfway point, it looks like she might.
Well, and I just need to point out, we've been focusing so much on the incredible split of Foster of Germany through halfway that we've kind of forgotten about the race that's going on, about to cross the 1,000-meter line. Look at that. All four athletes there just shuffled around. I was about to give you the update, but look at those scores: 60 meters, 61 meters, 61 meters, 62 meters, 1 meter separating Vita Frankovica of Latvia, of Belen Macedo of Mexico, Zoe Acosta of Uruguay, and Diana Bolasa of Latvia. What are you thinking at this point? You've gone through halfway. We've just talked about how difficult this third 500 meters is. Do you want to try and get an advantage and push out a few more meters if you're in that pack of names that I've just mentioned, Shane?
At this point, it's not necessarily pushing ahead. It's where the finish line is. We've done this countless times today. It's going to be where things end up once you cross the finish line. So the hardest part of sitting in a pack like that is not losing your cool, staying on the course, and making the strategic move when you think that it's going to push off those other athletes. The name of the game at this point almost becomes, how much can you make yourself suffer to make somebody else suffer more? And that is the name of the game in a race at this point. You start to get those nerves. You start to feel the jockeying. It's like watching a sprint finish in the Tour de France. You wonder when that person is going to go and whether or not you're going to have the power to overcome their own push.
Yeah, what a comparison there. You're right. Like a sprint finish in many other races, like the Tour de France, this is exactly what we're witnessing now. And actually, Belen Mercado of Mexico made that push at about 750 meters. She dropped the split down to 148, but is now starting to drift back up towards the 150s. And I don't know whether that was just that little bit too early. She's realized it. She's slotting back into the pack. And now look at those scores on the right-hand side. I have to point out 140 from Alexandra Foster here of Germany. That is
Relentless.
legendary. That is absolutely legendary. I think we're going to see a hugely quick time. It's certainly sub 7 minutes. I think we're going to be seeing 6:50 maybe here, Shane.
I think she is trying to make a true statement that perhaps she came in, as you had mentioned, maybe she was in a training cycle. Maybe it was not her best day when she needed to qualify, but she knew that she could with her score. And here she is just making an absolutely monstrous statement on this stage. 100+ meters separating her and any other position. That is the largest lead that we have seen today between first and second place by a long shot.
And she is continuing to push that split down and down and down. In the last 250 meters, we've seen it go from 141 to 137, and it's never drifted. We're seeing a 138 right now, but that is just phenomenal. After 1,750 meters, to be able to sprint like that, having held the score she's held, I think this is going to be a huge finish here. We're going to see a monstrous time from Alexandra Foster. I'm just ticking down the seconds here. Shane, what an incredible performance.
Astounding. To me, this is the best performance that we've seen today. We're coming in at what looks to be around 6:40 somewhere. I mean, she just smoked that race, and I don't know what else to say about that, but that was just truly stunning to watch. We're watching now as Belen Mercado and Zoe Acosta don't want to make sure that we don't avoid talking about them. Some shifting looks like it's going to happen. Zoe Acosta looking like she's making a move on Belen Mercado for that second place spot, and there's the shift. Yep, that shift happens. So our 1 through 3 unofficially is panning out as what we just called.
Yeah, that was a classic example there of the only stroke that counts is the one that's through the line. And that was the case for Zoe Acosta, slipping into silver medal position by 0.7 of a second there. We'll wait to bring you the final official results. But Belen Mercado, who held that second place the entirety of the way down the course, just missed out on second place by a whisker. But third place still on the podium. A great result there. Some really good times, anything under 7:10. Absolutely incredible there from our podium. But that has been my performance of the day. Alexandra Foster, 6:43.1. That would be competitive in a lot of the men's events here, Shane.
100%. That, to me, gold star. That's the race that we point to today as just one of the most exciting ones to have been able to call and to be able to watch. Huge congratulations to her. That was a dominating performance. Just pure force put in there, and relentless, absolutely relentless competition that, when not letting up like that, is just so hard to do. And when you're in a field of your own, she could have let up on the pedal when she had a 100-meter lead, and she chose not to. She chose to continue to push and strengthen that lead when she didn't need to. And that is the true heart of a competitor there.
Yeah, and a really mature race plan. I'm going to say it again. Race plans win races, right? Like, you saw that she knew exactly what split she could hold for 1,500 meters. Right from the offset, she was down at 141 every single stroke. It barely flickered from 141 that we saw on our screen per 500. And then as soon as she saw the 500 meters on her screen, it went all the way down to 137s and continued that way to the end. But there you go. Those are the unofficial results in the table there. We've talked about her enough. The gold medalist, Alexandra Foster of Germany, with a sensational 6:43.1. Zoe Acosta of Uruguay in silver medal position 7:08.0, and Belen Mercado of Mexico in 7:08.7. And we'll just scroll down to show you the entirety of the field. Congratulations again to everyone who's competed here today. And what a way to round off the Tuesday of the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships, Pete.
That's right, Camilla. What a exciting race. Alexandra Foster, dominating performance from her from start to finish, but a great sprint nonetheless from Zoe Acosta for Uruguay, just moving up to pit Belen Mercado of Mexico to that silver medal position by 0.7 of a second. Some really exciting race there in the last race of our day for day one of the 2021 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships presented by Concept 2. That was such a great day of racing. I really don't know where to conclude with that, but to say that it set us up for 2 more days of great racing. We have More to come tomorrow, and then the remaining finals on Saturday. So there's lots still to look forward to. But just before we wrap up, Camilla, Shane, I'd love to hear from you. Which were your highlights of today? Camilla, let's go with you first. What would you say was your highlight? I'm going to guess it's Alexandra Förster's performance just now.
I think that's a very good guess, Pete. I mean, hard to look past that absolutely incredible performance. It's made me forget about a load of the racing earlier on today. I'm sure there was even more great races that we called them at the time, but that performance from Förster of Germany, I know how difficult it is to race a race to perfection, and in my eyes, that's exactly what she did, right? There was no let up. It was executed to the split second of what she wanted, and a time that reflected that. So yeah, for me, a great way to round off and my performance of the day.
Yeah, and she'll be turning heads for all of the German national selectors because she was 10 seconds per 500 faster than the closest competitors in that event. But Shane, how about you? What's been your highlight of this day of racing so far?
How can I say anything else but that race that we just watched? I mean, it was simply stunning and truly a joy to watch because of how fierce of a competitor she was. And yeah, I mean, if I were to pick another, I would say it was enjoyable to watch Alex Byrne in the previous race. I think he did a great job staying steady. He also stayed rock solid through his race, and being able to watch somebody execute again a race plan whereby they simply don't let up off of what their intended splits are, and you can just watch them anchor it, hold it, and execute as needed. It's all just a joy to watch.
Couldn't agree with you more. How could you beat that women's under 23 race? I just don't think you could. It just shows that these two under 23s categories are full of great athletes. Lots more to look forward to in their rowing careers, certainly in the indoors. What a great day of racing. On behalf of myself, Peter O'Hanlon, and our commentary team, Camilla Hadland and Shane Farmer, it's been a great day of racing. We look forward to seeing you back again tomorrow. But for the time being, we'll leave you with these highlights and say thank you and goodbye for now.